Namaste and welcome to yAtrA, a journey through traditional performing arts. We have a really fine set of artists in the New England area, and it is my pleasure and duty to acknowledge my gratitude towards them for adding so much value to the community and artists like me. Today, we are about to meet with a multifaceted personality who has lived in the US for almost 4 decades. She has established herself as a veena player who has been introduced to veena and vocal at a very young age. She's one of the most sought after veena teacher. She has hosted many kinds of workshops and lecture demonstrations by visiting artists. She has collaborated with Western classical musicians, organized many events for some of the most prominent organizations like MITAS, Lernquist Academy of Performing Arts, Chinmaya Mission Boston, and many more. She's been the backbone of keeping the Carnatic music scene alive and active for many decades. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Shrimati Durga Krishnan. Namaste, Durga. Welcome to yAtrA. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு உங்களை மீட் பண்றதுல because I've been missing seeing all the artists அரங்கேற்றம்ஸ் so many events நடக்கும் during summer and everything has been put to hold for now. So I thought, I should create a platform where we can meet with all the artists and also, continue to learn. So that's mainly the idea. And also I wanted to show my gratitude towards artists like you who have been here, as I mentioned in the introduction, for many decades, and you continue to hold the community together. So all of that is coming. First of all, how are you? How is COVID-19?
I'm fine. And yeah, like you said, it's very strange time. Life goes on, but the one thing I really miss is the interaction with others, and even, as you know, I have been teaching at the Chinmaya Mission on Sundays for so many years, and I miss that hustle and bustle, though now I can get up 1 hour late in the morning because I don't have to travel 1 hour. So that is the plus. But I miss, going there and seeing everybody and talking to people. And here at home too, even like today, for instance, is Ganesh Chaturthi. Usually what will happen, I would get up in the morning and do my puja and everything before the classes start. And then I would have the tambulam ready. I would make these little brown bags with some goodies and the prasadam and everything. And I will send a message to my students' parents, please, come inside and take the prasadam. I miss all those things. And then sometimes if the children did well in class 1 week, then next week I would just bake them a tray of brownies, and little things. I just miss that kind of interaction. But you know what, we should not complain. We are lucky because our lives, we are able to continue on with our lives and our job and our income. So we should be thankful and just, thank God we have the technology to do it.
Absolutely. Very well said. How has this situation changed your classes?
Oh my God. Anybody who knows me can tell you, I hate online lessons. I 100% resisted it. I won't do online lesson, like, the Skype lesson. Even to my own students, when they go to college and when they ask, oh, auntie, can we just do Skype lesson? Yeah, maybe every couple of weeks. I'll say, no. When you come home on your breaks, come and learn a lot, and then you can go practice with the recording. No Skype lesson. I hated it for 2 reasons. One is, no matter how good the system is, there is still a lag between the sound and the picture. Zoom is a lot better compared to Skype, but and I didn't like it. And then I just did not like sitting in front of a box. or
Right.
a pad, whatever it is, and teaching. So I absolutely 100% refused to do that all these years. But then, of course, everything changed overnight.
Right.
Middle of
Right.
March, and just
Post.
overnight, we had to make a decision. The decision, the choice was either to go online and teach or just close the school
Right.
indefinitely. And that choice did not seem to, doable. So I took the Zoom. But to my surprise, it's working out great.
Right.
Zoom, like I said, is a lot better than the Skype. The lagging is very minimal. It's not even noticeable. I'm sure you feel the same way in
Zoom
many
is
cases.
definitely much better than anything
Yeah,
else that I have.
unless the student has a very slow moving internet connection, it's going okay. But you know how it is as a teacher. The group lessons are hard. You
I
have
can't
to go.
imagine. I can't imagine how you're doing it on Veena because.
No,
Uh,
because I never did any big groups. When
hmm.
I say group, it's like 3,
Okay.
maximum 4. And
Right.
for many groups, I have increased the class time because it takes extra time to do it. So
Right.
that's okay. But the lessons are moving forward. So that is the most important thing.
That is
And then
great.
the other thing, I'm sure all the teachers probably tell you the same thing, and you yourself as a teacher experiences with littler kids to keep their attention.
Right. Right.
When you are working with student A, the B, C, D will be like looking around. You have to keep telling them, no, put yourself on mute. You keep singing so you don't bother others, but I want you to be practicing, that sort of thing. But
Right.
it's okay. The parents are being really very good about it. And everybody is making the adaptation pretty well, I
Right.
would say.
We don't have a
So
choice,
it's
right?
what
We
it is.
just have to adapt. Yeah.
We just have to adapt it. And like I said,
Yeah.
otherwise we just don't do it.
Right.
And that is not good. So, the sad thing is the Arangetram is getting postponed.
Right.
The children who are ready and the family, they wait for this Arangetram all their lives, and then also see, I'm not the kind of teacher who works on the Arangetram items for like 1 year. I hate
Hmm.
doing that. I just cannot do it.
Right.
So I usually teach them a whole bunch of things and then say, just keep practicing, you'll do them. And just when they were like pressing me, oh, no, can we make the decision? So because we need to get the brochure, I would say, okay, we'll do this, that sort of thing. So when the child is already ready and we had the date and everything, and then now it's hard, but that's okay. Again, all our complaints are sometimes I feel totally meaningless.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah. So I understand the difficulties of the virtual learning, the non-traditional way. It is hindering us in many ways. But have you been able to monitor the progress of each child because of this situation a little better? Would you say that, or the traditional way is actually better? What would you say about that?
Um, See, that's a good question. It depends on the student.
Hmm.
I would say, senior students, I don't notice any difference at all
Okay.
because you know how it is. They just pick up.
Right.
But with the little kids, the lessons move, I would say, maybe a little slower than in-person class because of lack of time more than anything.
Right.
In person, if I can teach Pallavi and Anupallavi of a Varnam, in the online class, I'm not able to do that
Right.
because lack of time. Even with the increased class time, by the time I make sure each child got, at
That's
least
true.
a reasonable understanding, it's so in that way. So it depends on the age and the experience of the child, and also even otherwise, you know how it is. Every child learns at a different pace. We
That's
cannot
true.
We cannot compare. That's why when parents ask me, oh, how many years before it's Arangetram? I cannot give you an answer.
Right.
It could be 5 years, 6 years, it could be 10 years, it could be never.
Right. Right.
We cannot, it all depends, it's like everything else. You cannot make a withdrawal, going to the ATM and make a withdrawal unless you deposit money in your account.
I really can't believe you said that, because that's exactly what I tell my students about every ragam being an investment, and only after investing you can withdraw from it. Yeah, very, very well put. Thank you for sharing that.
You cannot do that. I mean, see, when a parent asks me, oh, how many years or how long does it take? I cannot tell you. No, I actually, you know what I tell my students? Hey guys, you think I'm the teacher, I'm the adult, so I have all the power. Actually, I am totally powerless. You guys hold all the power. Because if you come to class totally prepared, practice and come to class totally prepared, then you force me to teach you more. But if you come to class and not prepared, if we have to repeat the lesson, then I'm not able to teach you. So who make the decision if you are going to be learning new piece or we are going to be doing the same old thing again and again? You guys do it. So you have the power. I am totally powerless. So help me.
Okay, again, it is so funny that you bring that. So when I say Durga, the things that come to my mind is power, being fair, because I've seen you, give equal opportunities to everybody in this area, treat everybody with respect, and you give the same kind of treatment to everybody. I've seen that in you.
Thank you.
And you are very punctual.
Yes.
There is like EST, IST, PST, and then there is DST. There is a Durga Standard Time, which is basically on the clock. If it's 2 o'clock, you make it happen at 2. I've watched you do that, and I have been greatly inspired and influenced by you for keeping up time. And you are very straightforward. You don't play games. You never hide things. If you feel something, you just say it. And then you're quite daring, in my opinion, because you speak your mind irrespective of the place or the person. You just say, this is what I feel, and I disagree in the most respectful way. So I've observed you in the past 20 years, and I have really come to see, these are the attributions that I have for you. I am very thankful to you, mainly because I don't want to forget mentioning this. I want to just, bring this up. When I came to this country, I was just, completely new to everything, not just teaching. I was just new to everything. And you have been kind of like a mom to me. You actually saw the potential in me, and you acknowledged it, you recognized it, and you also encouraged. And I am very, very thankful to you for that.
Oh, you are so sweet, Aparna.
No, I became, one of the faculties in LearnQuest.
See, I very strongly believe, sorry for interrupting you, I 100% believe these arts, and when people ask me, oh, I hope that you never retire because we need you in this area. I hope you never move. If you move, who is going to organize all this concert? You do. I tell them, no. I am the instrument right now in this time period. Okay, people have been doing this. For instance, you take yAtrA, for instance. It has been happening in the Boston area since the early 80s. Okay, because I have video recording of me playing in a Tyagaraja Aradhana that was done, I think, in some school in Burlington, like in the 80s when my daughter was like a year old or whatever. And then, so somebody was already took the initiative and started this. And then like this, concerts. Even before Meeta, some individuals just took it upon themselves and they would organize. So all these things were happening. Only the person who takes the responsibility or, responsibility. I would even say take charge, maybe take charge of organizing it and reaching out to people. That changes, because for whatever reason, the person who was doing, either they moved or they decided, okay, I've been doing it for so long, now I am tired, I don't want to do it, so on and so forth. So right now, all these things in this area, I mean, like a lot of these things in this area are happening through me, not because of me, through me. So then my job is to make sure that I recognize the younger generation, the people who can do these things, and pass the baton. I have to, it's like a relay race, right? I carry it for a certain length, and then I give it to the next person, so that these events continue.
Right.
The person who runs it may be changing, but the events continue. And also, see, I learned something from other people, like Dr. Mathur. He started the KHMC many years ago, and then at some point in his life, he one day called me and said, Durga, I have done it long enough, and I want to see if you would take charge and start running this, because I want to hand it over to somebody responsible while I am still of sound of mind, before I lose my mind.
Right.
And I said, yeah, of course I'll do it. So I follow that model. So I have to then see, that is why after being in charge of the KHMC for like 3 years or 5 years or whatever, then, passed it along. I think then Sudhakar came into power. And then the next person, see, the programs run. Because how can you expect other people to work with you and cooperate with you unless there is an incentive for them? Okay, someday I get to be the person doing it.
Right.
If that person has the mindset, oh my God, she is always bossing me around and I have to just work under her, they have no incentive.
Right.
So, for many reasons, we have to be that way. And, for instance, now look at you. You are just, this is your own idea, your brainchild of doing such thing. Just being active in the community, right? Doing this, doing that. So that is how it is. And then also a lot of the times when the younger people take over, they bring in fresh ideas and better way of doing. So why not? We say in Tamil, Param Perichali.
Right.
The Param Perichali.
That is exactly how I felt about you, Tara, Jyoti, and all, because in a positive way, because there is just so much experience and knowledge that you have, and you generously share it with everybody in so many different ways. And only because of that, our community is so prominent outside of Massachusetts and outside of the US. So many people ask, oh, you live in Massachusetts. Oh my God, the culture is so rich. The tradition is so well kept. So, and it's because of artists like you. And you have been actually really, really, influential and inspiring to all the current organizers. So there is a little bit of Durganess in what they do. And I think you should definitely take the credit for that.
It doesn't cost anything to be generous. And also knowledge and experience is something that grows when you share.
Right.
If I have $10 and gave you $5, I become $5 poorer.
Right.
But if you ask me for a notation for a song and I give it to you, I still have the song in my head. I still have a copy of the notation, right?
Right.
So sharing doesn't cost anything. And it spreads goodwill, and it spreads it's overall, it is good for the community.
Definitely. So, talking about knowledge, you have acquired so much from so many people. So, please share about your journey, about your tutelage, and some of the most cherished experiences. Because, it is easy to say Srimati Durga Krishnan is disciple of, Sri Chitti Babu. It's easy to say that, but
you may want to edit this next whatever that I'm going to say, because I don't know if it is good for the children to hear this. Like many children, when I first started, I just loved it. So you know how it is in India, right? Oh, em ponnu veena kathukra, paatu kathukra. Oh, mama ku paatu vasikaduma, right? play something for this uncle, play something for that aunt. Oh, immediately I will do it. And then all those things, like after like a few months, it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to practice. Oh, I hate this. Why do I have to do this? Why? And didn't want to do it at all. But my father was very, very, very strict. He said, no, you have to do this. Like it or not, this is something I want my daughter to do it. So you are my daughter, you have to do it. That's how it was. So, wow. And then after like, 2-3 years, at a certain age, it just clicked. And until then, my dad would sit with me sometimes when I practice. I would try not to touch the instrument, practice if my dad was around, because he would ask, what is the Sahityam? Sing the Sahityam. What is the meaning? And I would be like, I don't want to do it. Or he would make me listen to a radio concert and he would say, what ragam is that? I would be like sitting there like a dummy. And then my dad will get upset. So my mom would come near the kitchen door or something, standing behind my dad. And if it is Todi ragam, she will go showing the Todi. Kapi ragam, she'll go. Oh, Kalyani, she will show all this. Then I would just say the name of the ragam and so I can escape. But anyway, that is how it was. I didn't want it. But and then at some point, it just clicked. I don't know when. So that is one of the reasons why, I tell the story to my students actually, and to parents too. So when I teach, I tell my students the meaning of the song. And then if I know the circumstances under which the composer composed the song, the little stories, I tell them. And then they will be sometimes sitting, some students will show a lot of interest, some students will be sitting there with totally dead face. But then I tell them, that's okay, you may not find this to be interesting now, but luckily because you are young and your brain is like a sponge, it will get absorbed somewhere and it will be in the back of your mind, because that is how it happened to me.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, one day when you listen to the song, when you are like 25 or 30 years old, oh, I remember Durga auntie told me a story about this song. So that is how the journey was. But and then anyway, so I wanted to go, and when I was in my 7th grade, I think, or 8th grade, something like that. At the time, Chidibabu sir was, he was becoming so popular, and thousands of people will go to the concert. So he came and performed at the Mylapur Kapaleswara temple. And I went and listened. He played the cuckoo song. I think maybe that is when I really started to get interested. Anyway, so I wanted to learn from him. And it took a few years before my parents will allow me to go learn. And I did. And then, I went to Carnatic Music College and I studied there. And then I started to, I think in Carnatic Music College, I learned the Balaji Varnam by Lalgudi sir. And I liked it so much. And I always used to think, oh my God, I want to go learn from him. But then I didn't know if he would teach veena. I know he was a violinist. And also, I was young. I was a teenager. And all these big artists, used to intimidate us. And Carnatic Music College, we had K.V. Narayan Sami sir, Durga Krishnan, T.M. Tyagarajan, Kalpavam Swaminathan, T.N. Krishnan sir, Parur, M.S. Anantaraman. Look at all the names, right?
I know.
Yeah, and so I have learned as a veena main student. Vocal was my ancillary subject, and so I have learned vocal, some songs from K.V. sir, from TMT sir. So the more I learned, the more I started to get interested. And anyway, so I wanted to learn from Lalgudi sir, but I didn't even know how to go about it. But then in the meantime, I got married and then I came here. And then life.
It was in 74, right? When you came to the US?
I came to USA in 1974. Yeah.
Okay.
And then about 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to organize Lalgudi Krishnan's Kacheri. And that is how through him I met sir. And I expressed my interest in wanting to learn from him.
What a blessing.
Originally, it was only going to be like to learn his tilanas and varnams, but then it turned out to be a 13-year
Journey.
learning journey with him. So actually, I learned about 150, 160 pieces from him.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it just every December when I went to India, first thing would be for me to call and make appointments to go learn from him. And he used to introduce me to people who came to visit him. He would say, America the music
So sweet.
yeah.
And
So
then it was true, right? I mean, I know how much you have shared the music that you collected from Nalgudi sir and how much you have spread it out here in various events. So through students, through local teachers. So it's really nice. So what was your experience learning from Chiti Babu sir?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. He was mostly a lot of fun.
Okay.
In fact, he would teach. But back in those days, no notation, no recording.
Right.
You just have to learn.
Yeah. Listening and learning. Yeah.
And sometimes if I didn't get something right, and if he taught me a few times and I didn't do it right, he would just get up and he would just leave the room. And then I wouldn't know whether the class was over. I'm also supposed to get up and leave, or I should sit there and practice. He's going to come back. Or he's just sitting there like a dummy. And then sometimes he would come back, or sometimes his wife will come and say, "That's okay, you just you just go home." Or she will say, "Come downstairs, have lunch with us."
Oh,
a lot of the times I would be there like whole day because he would give a lesson, and then sometimes other students will come. He would say, "Go downstairs and send so and so up for a lesson, and then don't go. You just be there. I want you to come back." So it's like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's not you don't just go and learn from one teacher and then you leave. You become kind of part of the family. So I would go sit in the kitchen with his wife, and there will be like the spinach, and you help her with picking the roots off or whatever. And many days you end up eating there.
Right.
You never know when you are going to be able to leave their house and come back home.
Oh.
No schedule.
I'm sure children of these days will be surprised to hear that.
See, and also remember, he was a big concert artist, right? So he will be traveling a lot. So what will happen is whenever he was home, whenever he was not traveling, we would have lesson like every day. And then like maybe for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there may not be a concert. And if it is a foreign tour, then for like a month, we won't have classes. So that's how it is. It's very different. It's not like 45 minutes, 1 hour class, and then every month, the beginning of the month or end of the month, you give a check.
Right.
It's very different.
Yeah, it is different, yes. And what are your...
The same with the Lalgudi sir. Lalgudi sir, my God, he will not... See, there's a huge difference I always feel between Lalgudi sir and Chiti Babu sir. Lalgudi sir is like such a perfectionist. Even though I went to learn from him at an older age, right, 20 years ago, and I'm just going to India like once a year for a month and learn. He just won't let it go unless I get everything the way he thinks it should sound.
Wow.
So you have to play. And he would ask, and the gaku ponuma konja riya amikina vanduradodhu.
Wow.
And then when he teaches something, like especially his tillanas, so how the jatis are very fast, right? And then you go back the next day for a class and then you play it. One time he taught, I think it was his Kannada Varnam. And in the third Chittaswaram will be like very fast. Because they are all single notes. And but I played it and he goes, "Oh, idu veena la konja easy ah vandurum pol irukku." Just like that. But very appreciative when you produce the result. Very appreciative, and every nuances, every gamakam has to come out right. That is why here too, sometimes when I work with other people and when they change his compositions, I feel a little upset. Sometimes I say something, sometimes I bite my tongue and don't say anything because he's very particular about how it should sound. And also, when people try to have come up with other sangadis, I'm like, hey guys, don't you think he would have made the sangadi up if he thought it was appropriate?
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, that
so
is very important.
See the care they took in teaching and how you develop a relationship. Those are all very the experiences that make you a better person.
Absolutely, yes.
Better
Yeah,
teacher.
thank you for saying that. That's exactly what the younger generation should be hearing from people like you. So you've been teaching vocal and veena, right? So in this area for a long time. So can you share your experience handling both? So do you follow the notation for vocal just as you do for veena, or is there a difference?
I generally use the same notation, but sometimes, depending on the student, I may simplify or make something a little bit, you know how it is. We can have a skeleton and then we custom make it.
Right.
Custom fit it.
Right.
So, depending on some sangadis, see, I am more of an aesthetic person. So some sangadis that sound nicer, prettier on the veena may not on an instrument may not sound that good on a vocal. But same way, I don't like to play in public or teach for arangetrams and all some brand new songs because people won't be able to identify because the instrument,
right?
Even though I know the sahityam and when I'm playing, I know what I am playing, and my face may have all the expression and the emotions showing. The person sitting in front of me, they don't know.
Right.
Unless they already know the song, they have to be able to identify because the enjoyment for them is better if they can identify what we are doing. So there are those things. But in vocal, I can teach them. If I heard a song and I thought, in a concert, I heard some new song and I thought, oh, that sounds good. It sounds like a fun song. I can teach the kids to do that. Yeah. So it's not the same, but it's pretty close.
Close. Okay. So what would you say your strengths have been and your struggles have been in your journey?
In my journey
of learning veena, performing veena, teaching?
This is what this is how I would categorize myself. I'm not a prodigy. I'm not a born genius. I have to work hard for what I have. So I see some people, they can just hear it once and then they can just do it.
Right.
I can't. I need to listen to it 2-3 times and then, I have to think about it. Right. And I do it. So that is my difficulty. But then this is what I tell my students too. Either you have to have the born, you have to be a genius. You have to be a prodigy.
Naturally talented.
Or you compensate what you don't have naturally with hard work.
Right.
If you have neither, you cannot do anything. It not only in music. It's true in everything.
Very true.
Even if you want to play a sport, you want to go play basketball, you want to play tennis. You have to work hard. But what my strength is, I have good. What is the word I'm looking for? Say I'm having a senior moment. It's not an insight. What is the word? Tell me.
Your instinct?
Instinct.
Okay.
Yes. instinct, when sometimes when students ask, oh, when I play the song, it doesn't sound like you do. So then I tell them that's because you have to internalize what you learn and develop an instinct, natural instinct. This, just like even cooking, if somebody follows the recipe, it's going to be one way. But when they follow their instinct, so that is the next step.
Yes.
Then the food comes out differently. Same with music, same with anything. When you follow instruction, you go up to a certain level. And then once you develop some instincts and you start trusting it and doing things, then it goes to the next level. So I would say I have good instincts and aesthetic sense. Right? After all, music is what? Music is something that provokes some emotions.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not good music. It doesn't have to be so complicated. You don't have to do complicated Nalakale Pallavi in Mishra Nadai or Sankirna Nadai and things like that.
Right.
Because music should not be like boxing.
Right.
So
if it is coming naturally for somebody, like Madhuramani Iyer used to say that, it seems, and I think I've read about it in some article, that people used to ask him that, Shemangudi Srinivasa Iyer is doing, all very complex kanakus and everything, korvais and everything. Why is it that you're not, putting any time or effort in that? He said, for me, this is coming very naturally and I'm very happy. My Rasikas are very happy. If somebody is able to do it, by all means. So,
see, we can do all those things for education purpose.
Right.
When we teach, of course, I will teach my students how to do different nadai and so on and so forth. But that doesn't mean you want to do it for every piece that you play or sing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So aesthetics is more important to me. So that's how it is.
Absolutely. Very, very well put. Very, very interesting points actually you shared today. Thank you very much. Especially, I loved the concept of being instinctive. It is opening a new dimension, especially for younger students. Thank you very much. How do you motivate yourself in general, and especially during times when you feel low or times like this when everything is like just chaotic?
I am I describe myself as a borderline OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, borderline, because I'm kind of a very organized kind of person. So my whole day is kind of planned. I'm going to show you something, just move the camera so hopefully you can see it. I don't know, let's see. Do you see let's see if you can, you see a box there, see the black, like a crate? Okay, that has like folders. Those folders are marked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Monday folder has all Shiva songs. Tuesday folder has all Muruga songs, Subramanya songs. Wednesday has all art songs, songs that probably didn't fit in any of the folders or I didn't have room for it, whatever.
Right.
Thursday is all Vishnu songs. Friday all Devi songs. Saturday all Venkateswara songs.
Wow.
So I have folders like that. And then I arrange the songs alphabetically in each folder.
Wow.
So the goal is to go through each folder at least once a month. So every Monday I may play from, say, one Monday from A to B, A to D, E, whatever.
Right.
And then next week F to whatever. So things like that. And then another thing I try to do is to learn at least one new piece every month. So I have to do that. Otherwise I get bored.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I have to do these things mainly, like I said, I'm borderline OCD, and also not having the uh, what's the word? It's not patience. I mean, it's like I need to keep myself um,
Occupied.
uh, no, like to,
And
to to to
challenged.
make it still fresh and interesting for me.
Hmm. Okay.
So learning new pieces, and then learning a new piece, you know how it is.
Right.
Then I will try to once I decide, oh my God, oh I didn't learn this song, so now I want to learn it. Then you listen to different versions by different artists, and then you pick some sangatis, you sit and write notation, and then you practice. And as you get older and older, it takes longer to memorize.
Right.
But
Right.
that's how I try to keep it fresh for me. And then of course the students all of a sudden will ask, Auntie, can you teach this song, that song? So it's but that is what is great about what we do, Aparna, right?
Right. Right.
We will
Absolutely.
never go stale.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for more than one reason, music keeps us, challenged in many ways as
Yeah.
such. And adding these things like learning new stuff, and you're very inspiring when it comes to being very organized. I've always, noticed that about you, and people, local teachers have mentioned that you're always ready with your notation for any program. You always come completely prepared, and you're extremely meticulous in,
Oh, like I said, that's
being ready
because
with
I'm
your.
not a genius. I need to be like that.
I mean, it's good for anybody. I wouldn't
Yeah.
categorize it as, even if it is a child prodigy, without continuous hard work, talent just vanishes,
Yeah.
diminishes after a point, right? So
Right.
being organized, being time efficient. I also know this for a fact that you don't watch much TV.
No, I cannot watch TV during. No, I watch my share of TV, but not until pretty much 9 o'clock at night.
Right, right. You've mentioned
I
this,
like to
yeah.
watch late night comedy shows, talk shows
Okay.
and things like that. And politics. I'm a political junkie, so
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that saves a lot of time,
yeah. I never watched. I never had developed any interest in soap operas and this and that. No, I
Okay.
like to read. I read a lot, but
Hmm. Very interesting.
so
Very
yeah.
nice.
No,
So
we have
that
to be organized. Otherwise, cannot get anything done.
absolutely. And, time management is something that everybody struggles with. And it is important to focus on what is, or
Yeah.
your priorities. Have your priorities right.
See, I
And
need to
then,
practice at least an hour every day. Otherwise, I feel so guilty.
totally. Yeah. I agree with you. Yes, totally.
Yeah.
And, it's not like you have to practice because you have a concert, right?
No, no,
Uh,
no.
you have to practice because you want to preserve it in your mind. You want to continue to preserve it in your
Yes,
mind, so it's
absolutely.
easier to share, basically, right?
And also, see, you know how some people say a lot of slokas and this and that. I don't. So to me, that is why I have songs arranged in the way that
Yeah,
I have.
yeah, I mean,
So
it's the
if
most
Monday is homework,
beautifulest.
then yeah,
Yeah, most beautifulest form of worshiping the supreme
exactly,
is through music.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. So you have been the only person keeping this music community together, and you have organized many events. I've been part of many events organized by you, and with many organizations. I mean, I would like to know a little bit about your experience being involved in so many different organizations at the same time, and also about your experience organizing this Tyagaraja Aradhana in Chennai Mission, and your plans for this upcoming year.
No.
Lot of questions in one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
No.
don't want to forget it.
So
Yeah.
I know, yeah, I know. I may do different. I mean, I may work with different organizations. I mean, I may be part of different organization, like being on the board of Mitas or LearnQuest, and or a cultural coordinator for Chennai Mission. But basically, I'm doing this one job. It's all related to music. It's all related to fine arts.
Right.
So, and I must say, I'm just so thankful that I have the confidence and cooperation of the community. See, people, I'm very thankful that everybody feels that I'm a fair person. I am, but I may be a fair person, but if people don't feel that way, see, it's all perception.
Right.
So then they are not going to want to be with me or want to be part of anything I do. So I'm very lucky in that respect. So I'm very thankful for that.
Right.
That everybody feels, okay, if she is doing it, she's a fair person, and we will have good experience. So everybody cooperates.
Right.
You froze.
Have I?
Yeah. Okay. Now you are back.
It's raining so badly here. There is thunderstorm, so the connection is a little iffy.
Yeah.
But so far it's been okay, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I cannot do what I do without the cooperation of the community. It's very important.
Right.
It is not only the teachers, my colleagues, the other teachers. It's also the parents. It's also the community. How can I organize a concert at Chinmaya Mission if I'm only able to bring 10 people, or quarter of the 1/4 of the auditorium? It won't work. So in that way, I'm very lucky. I'm very, 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 very thankful for that. And every organization that I work with, most of the times, everybody is, professional. They are all doing this as a volunteer, right, on a volunteer basis. So everybody, there is a lot of give and take. And it's always, we have a lot of fun doing it, without having fun, if it becomes a chore, if the people that you work with, if you are not able to get along with them, then it is not pleasant anymore. Then it is not worth doing it.
Right.
Then you just want to walk away. So that is how we do it. And what are we doing now during this COVID quarantine and all that? Well, as you saw, LearnQuest festival had to be cancelled.
Right.
And then the spring season and also fall season Mita's programs had to be cancelled. But at Mita's, we are working on something. We just come up with an idea, and I don't even want to talk about it yet because we are still, just involving the community and do some programs, see how it works out.
Okay.
And as for next Tyagaraja Aradhana, already we decided at the Chinmaya Mission to do it online. It's going to be a virtual Aradhana at this point. And we are trying to figure out ways to make it interesting. Because one thing that we may not be able to do when we do online is having these groups of children performing.
Right.
For the teachers, you know. So I don't know how they will feel. I mean, I'm thinking in my head, maybe I can ask my students to come to my house and then just wait in the car. And then each group, maybe 2, 3. And instead of doing it in my music room, which is smaller, but I can do it in my family room, which is bigger, so we can have more room. So, and then one group finishes performing and leaves, then the other group can come in, something like that. I don't know. These are all things that's going through in my head. So we are also thinking then, maybe then we will, I'm reaching out to some artists from India to see if they would send me some special, like a short videos of maybe explaining a song and then performing it.
Very nice. Yeah.
Something like that.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am talking to some artists. And they have, at least initially, I have 4 of them said yes, and these are all big name. And they said they will do it. But then now I have to be on their back. And until I get the videos from them, I won't trust.
Right.
But anyway, so we are trying to figure out. And even the Panjaratnam, how to do it. One way I'm thinking is maybe each Ratnam can be performed by one school.
Right.
The Abhishekam can be going on.
Yeah.
And then maybe, but and then when you do that, then what do you do with the instrumentalist?
Yeah, that was my dilemma.
Yeah, so,
when I saw the email.
So that's one. Or the other one is to maybe for the Pancharatnam, how about if we put an audio of our previous year or something?
Exactly. You are reading my mind.
Do it. So all kind of scenarios. But I still have time. So we will figure it out. And
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody can sit in their house and be part of it. And if we can just play one of the previous year's video and audio or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, audio, because video will be seeing the Abhishekam, right?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I'm also thinking I have some good recordings of Tiruviyare, the Pancharatnam being done by.
That will be like very special. Maybe it's happening for a reason,
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, so there are. We'll figure it out.
You will make it happen. I was just curious. I wanted to.
Yeah. No, I mean,
we'll make it happen. I know.
Like I said, see, the virus and the quarantine is kind of it's a bummer on the one hand, but then on the other hand, it makes you think and come up with.
Absolutely, yeah.
Look at this DNC convention. How nicely they did. Usually, I will not be watching the whole thing, and this time I watched the whole thing because it was 2 hours a day.
Everybody's saying the same thing. Yeah, everybody's saying the same thing. Yeah, the thing is, we are made to survive as well as thrive as humans. That has come to come out very obviously.
And we will make the necessary changes.
Right.
And we'll do it. I mean, look at us. We are all, after all, from India. We have come to a foreign country, and we are living here. We are thriving. How big a change that is to us.
Absolutely.
So we can do anything.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
You here definitely is a blessing. So I'm not worried about anything, but I just was curious.
Yeah.
So now coming to the very important question that I've always had, because I've learned from Neyveli Santana Gopalan sir, and he always used to play the veena along with his vocal teaching. And he used to tell me, Aparna, just take a look, no? Just see how beautiful this variation sounds on the veena. See how authentic it sounds. And then he said, veena is the adharam for vocal. First came the veena, and then came the vocal music. And I have seen many Vainikas who are vocalists, equally good vocalists, and veena artists.
Right.
Sri Sheshagopalan sir, many artists. We know
that. Ramavarma.
Yeah,
Ramavarma.
Prince Ramavarma. Yeah. So I was very thrilled when my sir introduced me to veena being the adharam for vocal, and he said Tanam was never for vocal. Tanam was mainly for veena, because
for veena.
Anything that you can do in vocal is only from veena. So I want to hear it from you. Your perspective of veena being the adharam of vocal music, and how complex are the nuances in veena compared to that of vocal?
I would say, I say it's pretty much. See, a lot of the gamakams we do on the veena, right?
Right.
We will do it by pulling the string.
Right.
Our fingers will be in one fret. For instance, if I am playing, say, Saveri, and if I, if there is a phrase, Padanidapa, I will not be going from Pa to the and I will pull it all in Pa. So I can control exactly. See, because remember, even when we teach the Rishabham, if you take Re 1, Re 2, Re 3, we say, but even in the Re 1, when we go by the what do you call matra, right? There is different. See, the Rishabham we use in Saveri is different from the Rishabham we use in some other ragam. I mean, even the same Re1. Because in Saveri we say, right? In Saveri, Saveri.
Saveri, yeah.
We say, because that's how little.
Yes.
So all I have to do is I keep my fingers in Sa in the second string and just press the string little much, and I get the Re. So I can show those little, very subtle differences easily. But then you can do it in the vocal too. But if my vocal students have trouble doing something, then I'll show it on the veena and say, listen to the sound. Listen to the sound. This is how you want it. We do that. But then, vocalists are the same. But then, if I'm pulling, I should be able to pull properly. For instance, many years ago, I was listening to one Vainika playing Palinchu Kamakshi. It's Madhimavati Ragam, right?
Yeah.
And so she was, in her mind, pulling Madhimam in Rishabham.
Oh.
That's how the school, they learn. Except she was not pulling deep enough. See, you have to pull deep enough to get the ma, right? She was only getting ga. In fact, another person sitting next to me who also has good ears said, isn't Palinchu Kamakshi Madhimavati? How come she keeps playing Sri Ragam?
Okay.
I said, no, it is Madhimavati, but she's not pulling enough. Yeah. So when I teach my students, I'll tell them, when I say, pull knee in da, don't do a ceremonial pulling. First, you have to learn, keep your fingers in da, pull the string and hold when you hear the knee sound. And see how deep you have to pull it.
Right.
So that is how you have to pull.
Right.
So just like, vocal, if you are going to be making apaswaram all the time, when you try to do a brika, your throat doesn't cooperate, then apaswarams come. On the veena, if you don't pull deep enough or whatever, then you are not going to get what you think, what you want.
Right.
It's going to be apaswaram. So I would say everything is practice.
Absolutely.
And I would say, I tell my students, don't ever try to pull sa in da when you play moganam. Or pa in ga, because more often than not, you are not going to pull deep enough. You are going to end up getting madhimam, you are going to end up getting vishadam. Right. I would rather you go to sa.
Right. Yeah.
So, rather than instead of trying to pull, I would rather you just go to the fret and just do it. It's better that way. But yes, they say because in one fret you can just pull and how deep you can produce all the nuances that you may or may not be able to produce on your throat.
Right.
So that's why especially all Dikshita compositions are very veena based.
Yeah. I mean, he was a Vainika Gayaka.
Yes. Yeah.
He says it.
So it's always a pleasure to play Dikshita composition on veena.
I know. And I've also read about this, that a human body is a replica of how a veena is made.
Yes. So, in fact, who's this? Oh, remember this Dr. Karikudi Subramaniam? He wrote his thesis, this about veena. Yeah, we have the vertebrae, the number. Right. It's how many number of frets we have on the veena. So the veena in the fingerboard is like our muduttandu.
Right.
And the cirrus. And then the curvature of the, where we have the yali.
Yeah.
The dragon. That is like the curvature we have at the end of our,
Yeah.
And then, I mean, absolutely. It is like the human body.
It is. It's very nice to see how veena has been the Adharam for vocal, and it is also nice to make comparisons and also get to see.
And there are a lot of, in fact, I presented a paper at Museum of Fine Arts a while ago. The veena, you can talk about veena on 3 different angles. One is our mythology. How the beliefs, like we Sabda Swaram in the veena had the 7 strings.
Right.
And the veena has the 3 tala strings. The 4 strings are like the 4 seasons.
Right.
That's the main 4 strings. And then the tala strings, they are 3. How we repeat everything in 3s in the Hinduism.
Right.
Moonu Namaskaram, Moonu Pradashanam, and Vibhuti has 3, Namam has 3.
Right.
So that sort of thing. And then, you can do the scientific analogy, the distance, the physics of the Swarasthanams.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that veena is a very... See, that is why I know some violinists like to say that violin is a very ancient instrument, and it went to Europe from India and all that. I don't know about that, but to me, veena is the most authentic. I always, when people ask me about authentic Indian instrument, I would say 4 of them. Veena, because played by Saraswati,
right?
Narada,
yeah.
Okay, flute,
even
Krishna.
Anjaneya, even some people
even
say
Anjaneya,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Flute, Krishna, right? Shiva too, Veena.
Yeah.
A flute, Krishna, and Mridangam, Nandi,
yeah,
and Damaru, Shiva.
Yeah.
Have you seen any god with a violin or a mandolin or a guitar?
Yeah.
If you don't see it, then that is,
it's like when people ask Indian instrument,
whether a ragam is an authentic Carnatic ragam or Hindustani ragam. What do you tell your students, Aparna? I tell my students, go look at compositions of Tyagaraja, Shyama Sastri.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you see a composition by them in a certain ragam, okay, then that is a Carnatic ragam. But on the other hand, Dikshita has composed, right? Dvijavanti.
Yeah.
And, other ragas, because he had the experience.
Right.
So he had the Hindustani experience and he brought... I'm not at all talking about whether these ragas are better or that ragas are better. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, if you have any doubt, if a raga is originally, if it is Carnatic or Hindustani, just go look at the composition.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
easy
I completely agree with you. Yeah. So veena is...
So like that, if an instrument is authentic Indian instrument or not, go look at the temples.
Yeah.
Go look at all our gods and see who has what instrument.
Yeah.
If you find, maybe Krishna in his spare time, he played a guitar or mandolin, I would say, okay.
They may form a temple, build a temple with Krishna with a violin or something, and then tell us.
That's okay. I know in Swami Malai, I went to get some Ganeshas done for my house, and I saw a Ganesha playing cricket.
Yeah, these days, for Navaratri, they have all types of Ganesha. Ganesha in swimming pool. I saw in one of my friends' houses. I'm like,
that's okay. So if you do, that's okay. But to me, authentic means if it is mentioned in our Vedas or our scriptures or our slokas or in the temple sculptures, then yes. Otherwise, no.
Yeah. I also, I mentioned some time ago that Tanam was mainly, used for veena, because irrespective of Ragam Tanam Pallavi, if you have a main composition, let's say Shankarabharana Mahalakshmi, you are mandatorily expected to play Tanam for that composition along with Ragam and then the piece, right? So veena being this complete instrument, it takes care of Shruti, Mata, Laya, Pita. So it's a complete instrument. It takes care of the entire melody part and the entire rhythm part. So how has that manifested in your experience? How have you come to see that, experience that as a wholesome concept, and have you been able to share that to the students?
Well, see, first of all, look at the veena has the tala strings, right? So and the tala string is used at a particular spot in each tala, right? Whenever we clap. So when you do that, even when you close your eyes and listen to the veena played, a song played with the proper talam at the proper place, you can tell if it is Adi talam or Rupaka talam or whatever talam,
Exactly. I have also, sorry to interrupt you. That's exactly why people said, I mean, I've heard Santanam Gopalan sir say this many times in class. that the aspect of notation came only from the veena being the Adaram of Layam.
Okay.
So
I don't know about that, but if he had said that, I mean, they're all much more knowledgeable people than I am. So I totally agree. Yes. So that is why when we write notation too, my notation, if it is Adi Talam, you can see the 8-4-4 split.
right.
Because we have to use the talam whenever there is a clap.
Right. I mean, that's what I was told, that if you look at the Varnam books,
Yes.
it clearly tells you where lagu ends, where dhritam ends, where the talam ends, and all of this is from the veena, because the veena correctly breaks all that with that.
Yes, that is why it is. Sometimes I feel bad for my little kids when they come, because when they learn, I teach everything in three speeds, right? Sarli, Jantai, Jada, Te, Alankaram, so on and so forth. And if they have to be able to do the talam correct.
Right.
And it is difficult in a Dhruva Tala Alankaram or in Adatala Alankaram for them to keep count, but then it helps them in the long run.
With the coordination.
And then also we have this automatic habit, I think all instrumentalists do, keeping the talam in our foot.
Right. I've seen that. Veena and
if I don't move my foot, so that's why sometimes the student asks me, oh, how long is the sa, how long is the pa? I cannot tell, because I don't keep the count in my head, I keep the count in my foot.
Right.
So and these things happen because of you're an instrumentalist.
Very true. Yeah. You have explored doing fusion programs with other local Western classical musicians, and I have actually attended some of them. And it's very hard to bring a balance, right, between two different types of music. You have to be very careful not to deviate from the authentic, like you mentioned some time ago, the authentic version of whatever has been given to us. So if we just say fusion, these days I come across a lot of youngsters just taking the liberty to change the pre-composed compositions, the nature of the ragam, the premise of the emotion, everything. It's just taken for a toss, and it's given under the name fusion. Even Raravenu Gopala, for that matter. And I somehow am not very comfortable, because when it comes to fusion, yes, you should collaborate, you should explore, you should expand your understanding of music.
We should do all that without compromising the integrity of the composition or the composer, the instrument. We should not compromise. We should not compromise on that. The integrity is very, very important. And luckily, the few fusions that I have done with the Western musicians, they are also reasonably well versed in Indian music.
Right.
So we would always take proper ragam, and anything we do, we may do by shifting the key, like Graha Vedam.
Right.
But not compromising the raga. Right.
So you, for example, Dhruva Bharama in Bahudari. So many people, take that composition and they just say, oh, I don't want to produce it in Bahudari.
What is it, like the Shankarabharana movie, like, bro, che, va, revarura? We cannot do that.
Yeah, it's like, I feel offended sometimes.
Yes, rightfully so.
Because, the compositions have to be kept preserved.
Absolutely.
And shared for generations to come. And I feel responsible.
Yes.
Sharing this message to, people in my school and, all youngsters out there. So I strongly feel that the lyrics and the music go together. Absolutely. And they have to be left as they were composed.
Absolutely.
If you want to do fusion, you create your own music, you create your own melody or lyrics. If you are presenting something composed by Dikshita or Tyagaraja, even Purandaradasa, just follow what has been traditionally
that is why
followed.
I said we cannot compromise the integrity
right
of the composition. I mean, think about I always tell my students we have to put ourselves in the position of the composer.
Right.
So, and we have to understand the meaning and bring the bhavam. And this concept came to me, drilled into my head by my dad. Like I said, long time ago. Even though back then I was not listening to him, I did not like it. But I didn't think I was listening, but I think I was listening.
Right.
Because it got into my head somewhere. Definitely. And there is a huge difference. Even when you play an instrument, the bhavam will come out. See, if only if I feel that.
Right.
So no, for I don't care for what purpose, we cannot compromise the integrity of the composition. Right. No, we can compose our own pieces. We have done that in the fusion pieces. In fact, all the fusion pieces we have done, we only take a ragam. We never take any composition.
Right.
It's all composed just for the program.
Right.
That's how we do it.
The other point I would like to mention here is I don't believe Carnatic music as a concept when it comes to just the art belongs to any particular religion, but the compositions do. So the compositions of Carnatic music should be left as is. And the compositions should not be manhandled or mishandled by anybody whatsoever to, I just want to experiment taking Purandaradas' composition and adding some other words to it. I want to bring the different. So I am not going to say Carnatic music is only for Hindu religion. I'm not going to be, so particular about that. Carnatic music ragas are universal because it's the adharam for any type of music. But the compositions, I would strongly say,
I agree with you. So that is why I said, even, if you take a Lalgudisar composition, a Tilana or Varnam, in a dance programs I see, and when they change it, or when they put Sangadis with lot of Urtal, Peretal, and all that, it's like, oh, please don't do that. He was a genius. Do you think it didn't occur to him all the Sangadis?
Right.
He didn't do it for a reason.
Yes.
And we should not try to improve product of some divine geniuses.
Absolutely.
Tyagaraja would have done it if he wanted to. Actually, I learned, for instance, I think because I learned several kritis from Lalgudi sir, and Chittibabu sir also like that. The mood, the emotion is very important. See, if you learn, if you listen to the Lalgudi sir version of Ni Daya Radha, he would not there. You cannot find the Ni Daya, that kind of Sangadis. No, because Ni Daya Radha is like, want your compassion, won't you bless me with your compassion? You cannot have that kind of Urdu Parita Sangati just because your voice can do or your fingers can do. So those things are very important to me.
Very nice. Very beautiful.
Yeah, but I tell my student, hey, you want to experiment, you want to play. In fact, I don't know much about this today's, but when the movie, what is the movie that Titanic came? Some students, they were like so crazy about, and she said, oh, I practice this song. I hope you won't get angry at me. No, show me what you learned. That's fine.
Yeah,
but do that after practicing what you learned for the class. That's fine.
Absolutely, yeah. That's very important. Yeah,
because it is Swarajnanam. Absolutely, that's fine.
Yeah, very true.
But I don't want you to bring it in when you are playing a kriti.
Yes, so that we need to make that distinction. We need to be very careful about it.
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, auntie, I tried this. I'm like, no.
You try it.
Thank you very much.
As its own. It's a separate entity, not as part of this.
Right. Thank you. And if it comes from you, it'll have a better impact, I'm sure. So that's
I don't know about that. I think you have more confidence in me than now. I do.
Rightfully so. And so what is your message? Now, that is the most important, point of doing this whole thing, because through artists like you, I want to share important messages to my students as well as students of other schools, whoever watches this video. So, what is your most important message to young aspiring students, artists who want to make these traditional performing arts as either their passion or profession, whatever it is?
Put in the hard work. Learn from a good, reputable teacher. Don't just see, look, I really do not like it when parents put their children to learn from somebody from another country on Skype. Skype and online distance learning is okay after you reach a certain stage.
Right.
After you learn a lot of kritis and a lot of varnams and a lot of items, for monodharmam, you have a favorite artist and the artist agrees to teach you. You want to learn on Skype or whatever, that is okay. But for Sarigama Padanisa, go to a teacher, sit in front of the teacher. You have to learn to do the talam properly. You have to learn to adhere to the Shruti, Adharam. I tell my students, Shruti Mada Layam Pita. In our culture, we like to have both parents. Don't make the music an orphan music. Or a single parent household. Please let the music have both parents, Shruti and Mada. So that is just because it is easier to for the parents, convenient, rather than driving the child to a teacher, driving 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever miles. Please don't do that.
Right.
At least in the beginning, please do in-person class and go to a reputable teacher. Don't be in a hurry to perform. Performance comes later.
Right.
Don't learn for the sake of performance. Learn for the sake of learning, acquiring the knowledge. Right. You know how it is. Back home when I was a child, when I was learning and all, we would never have the nerve to ask the teacher, "Can I go perform?"
Yes.
We would be so shaking.
Yeah.
Once in a while, if somebody says, "Okay, can you perform 2 songs in the school?" Whatever, we would be shaking, not asking the teacher's permission for that. So, performance should not be the goal to learn music or any fine arts. You learn the fine arts because it's part of our culture, and it definitely in order for somebody to appreciate fine arts, you have to have tender heart.
Right.
You have to be able to feel it. So, fine arts are so divine. So we should not do it for or don't learn because you think it is going to look good in your college application.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. They don't care. If you are so good and you compose and your piece is being performed at the Boston Symphony, yeah, maybe. So don't do that. But put in the hard work, practice. Don't think it is just so easy. And then for the parents, please don't ask the teachers when the student is in Geetam, can you just teach one small Tyagaraja Kriti so they can perform? No. No. The answer is no. A very resounding no. Just learn and the performance will come. Yeah. If you learn well enough, first of all, when you learn it well enough, if you practice well enough, then you yourself will have the confidence.
Right.
To present it to other people. For instance, when I learn a new song, I won't teach or I won't play in front of other people for a very long time.
Right.
Because I have to keep on practicing it again and again and again until I feel at ease with the piece that I just learned. So that will be my message. No shortcut. And the parents, they have to get involved. Not just sending a check every month.
Right.
That is important. I need my income, so that is important too. But just show some interest in what is the child learning, how much the child is practicing.
Right.
And sometimes I will get a message from a parent oh, my child had blah, 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 so didn't practice much. I just want to let you know. So please be easy on her today. Don't do that. No, instead tell your child, you have class, so no matter what, you have to practice.
Yeah. And they have to be responsible for what they commit to, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And if it is a child, first of all, I don't take 2 young children. I won't. For veena, it has to be minimum 8 years. I won't take a 5 year. No, I don't want to babysit. I want students and I want them to learn. So I don't take 4-year, 5-year-old and all that. No way. No. But when they are that young, the parents have to be responsible to make them practice.
Right.
See, until they reach a stage where they are going to do it on their own.
Yeah, I also tell the students, just perform in front of your parents. The more you perform in front of your parents, the more you'll get ready for an actual performance.
So that will be my way. Don't be in a rush.
Right.
Don't be in a rush to showcase.
Right.
Learn, work hard, practice.
Right.
And then everything else will come automatically.
Absolutely.
So no shortcut. There is no shortcut. In fact, there is this one particular student, time after time would come to class without practice. And finally one day I asked the student, okay, tell me something. Maybe I'm a dumb person, okay? I have been doing music since age 8, but I still have to sit and practice, okay? How do you believe that you can just do it without any practice? You come to class every single week without practice. Now tell me, what is the formula? Is there a secret that I haven't learned? So practice is enough. I mean, very important.
Right.
Learning, going to a reputable, good teacher, not because this teacher puts a student on the stage after 6 months, or this student's teacher perform a lot, so I want my child to go to that.
Right.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Basically, again and again, that's what I can say. Learn for the sake of learning, and learn to enjoy, learn to relax, use the music as form of relaxation, and do the hard work, and like everything else in life, hard work.
Yeah.
No hard work, no rewards.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aparna. You are so, I want to say, I really appreciate you taking this initiative to do different things for your students and for other students. So this is what we really need in the community, because see, like I'm getting older, whatever you want to call it. So then, the next generation has to step up and do things. So all these things stay alive for another generation. It's very hard to keep it going, but so I really appreciate that, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, and I'm beyond thrilled with all the answers today, for all the questions. I hope I have not really bothered you so much during this COVID time. Take care, stay safe, and I really hope to see you soon so we can interact and learn more.
Yes.
I am looking forward to this virtual Tyagaraja Aradhana, and I am always very happy to be part of it, because that's
Thank you.
one.
No, like I said, it's all, it's that you come for the Pancharatnam Tara, and without everybody's involvement and cooperation, we cannot do those things. So I really,
it's actually a blessing that something like that is being organized. So I feel very indebted to the organization as well as the organizer, that the least we can do is take part, right?
Because thank you very much for thinking that. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure and our blessing. Stay safe, and
you too.
we'll see definitely in person very soon. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Ma. Take care.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.